And now let's pick up with Jira. So, Khushwant, can you describe what Jira is? Like tell everyone what Jira is.
So Jira is basically issue tracking platform basically, but it is an enterprise grade issue tracking software. So it was a built from a big company like Atlassian. So basically what it does is it can help you track each and every type of issue in our organization. Right now, when Jira started, it was small, but right now, Jira has become a norm in each and every enterprise. Even if you've worked in any enterprise, you have heard of Jira or you have used Jira. Because Jira is a skill. Jira is not a tool anymore. Like just how the GitHub is becoming too big. So GitHub is also a skill. Same way for Jira. Jira is also a skill right now. In our organization, they have Jira training sessions in few months, in each few months. So where they train like people how to use Jira, how to log issues in Jira. So, but like the main problem with Jira is it is like they offer free tier generously, but it's too complex. Like it's a general, like you can try each and every type of issue. So you need to be trained how to log your type of issue. There can be multiple type of issue. Like in the development perspective, there can be like a development bug. There is a new feature request. So in Jira itself, the feature request goes. Then there is a bug. There is a design issues. Then there is like accessibility issues. Then there is a security issues. There is a network issues. So all these type of issues are logged in a different particular format. Like each of them have a different set of columns. Like if we talk about bug, for bug we will only have a column like what is the bug and why it is occurring. So these are the only two columns we need for bug. Whereas if we talk about a feature, we require much more input fields for the feature. So Jira is customized to handle any type of issues. So I will give an example when we are handling accessibility issues in Jira. So we got a task to log all the accessibility issues in Jira. For just setting it up, we require like 2 to 3 hours. So like I'm familiar with Jira, so that's why I was able to do it. So I have to build a separate script. So that will like take the Excel sheet and upload in Jira in a proper uniform way. But that too, like there's a buckets in Jira. So we logged around 2000 issues in a bucket in Jira and the Jira bucket kind of crashed. I don't know if Accessibility Tracker will be able to handle 2000 issues. But yeah, I was talking about Jira.
2,000 issues is a lot. But so
So
like you're, oh, go ahead.
what happened that the usually we log issues page by page. Like everyone log issue in a different way. In our organization, we log issues page by page. For every page, we log issues separately. So what happens is like the client asks us to log each and every issue separately. Like even if there is a color counter issue for this text and another text, I can't merge those issues in the other occurrence. I have to log it as a separate row. So that's why it's combined become 2000 issues.
Oh, I get it. I get it. But so like what you're saying is that if let's just say your average person wants to start to have a digital accessibility project management and they want to track their issues. And they've heard about Jira. They know that Jira is a project management platform, but it's there's a learning curve before you get started. So you're going to have to, like you said, it's a skill and you're going to have to spend some time just learning how to set up the project.
Exactly.
So,
Like any new person won't be able to do it straight away.
and but there's a reason why Jira is so popular, right? Like literally hundreds of thousands of companies use it, and that's because you can customize it, it's very flexible, and there's a lot of different projects you can take on with that. But what's nice about Accessibility Tracker is that it's already there for you. So if you have an accessibility project, you don't need to the customization, the flexibility is nice, but you don't have to worry about the setup. And then also we've got features in Tracker that Jira just doesn't have, and the features are all dedicated to accessibility.
Exactly.
And so that's why I think like even if like let's say a company is already using Jira and they like it, everything, they're good with it. And the development team already has the skills, they understand how to build out projects. There's still there I mean, let me ask you this question. Is there still enough value with Accessibility Tracker to warrant having Accessibility Tracker in addition to Jira?
With the price we are offering the all the features, it definitely is because we are also offering the risk factor and the impact factor to prioritize different issue that Jira does not have. That is our custom feature. Then we have the issue to analyze all the issue. Now, Jira may have a AI feature, but it is not specifically for accessibility. Now it is not pre-prompted with the issue, so it won't be able to handle it that much effectively than our platform. Also, like keeping the accessibility part as a separate thing makes more sense because it like accessibility require much more thing and much more like validation and all other things. Like also regarding the prioritization, you prioritize accessibility issue in a different matter. It doesn't go well with the typical issues. So even if you are a Jira customer, the in the value we are offering accessibility tracker, it is definitely a steal because we only offer a plan for like $19 a month, the starting plan. In the free plan, you can also add like 100 issues, and that is more than enough for a small project. But with the $19, you get more issues, you get AI features, and it's steal with $19 price.
And the other part of it is that I didn't want to lock anybody into a subscription. So if you think, hey, my accessibility project is only going to last 4 months, I don't need this, for a year or 2 years, then that pricing is there just to like if you want, hey, I just need this for 4 years, or not 4 years, 4 months, and I'm done. Like that's also a part of the value is just the ability to opt in and opt out when you need. You can add in if you don't want to go to the next level of subscription, you can simply add on a feature that you want. And so we've just made it completely customizable so that you can get exactly what you want. But like you're right, like with the prioritization formulas, that's where everything started. The prioritization formulas, like you said, risk factor and user impact. So what is the most overall impact to the most users? We've already got that formula built into accessibility trackers. So that way you can sort and prioritize the issues within what, like a second? Either way, if you're concerned with web accessibility lawsuits in the US, you can go with that formula or another one. So I think there's a real case, even if your team already likes Jira, I think there's a real case for at least for at least trying accessibility tracker, right? We have a free plan. If you want to use a free plan, the features are there to use. And at least trying it and seeing like, okay, this really does streamline from the accessibility audit report. So let's see, I have two other questions on this. Yeah, no, I think we've covered it. Did you want to add anything on Jira while we were talking about it?
So basically, for if I have to say another sentence, if you are using Jira, why would someone shift to accessibility tracker? Like if you want a easy life for developers, the end who are working on accessibility issue, then accessibility tracker is best. Like it's simplified. It's a focused platform for accessibility issues and only. So it is much cleaner platform. Even if you open the Jira, it is too like there are too many features. So even if you log like you won't understand many of the control itself. Like what is this control? What is this control? So it is confusing for a new person. So for accessibility, we have kept it pretty simple, like just you are browsing a normal another website. So it's just making it easy.
Yeah, that's something we're making it even easier to use. Like so we're even, that's something else that we're evaluating with trackers, just even the flows and making it so that it's so easy and seamless to move from one feature to the next that we're not keeping it static, we're continuing to grow it even though it's already something that's again the best in the market. Like this is not our stopping point. Like we're going to keep going with this and make sure it's the best experience possible. And Jira, just I think because it's so generalized and you can customize it to any different type of project, sometimes you just have to build in so many options and features that it becomes overwhelming. And just that initial setup, that initial learning curve, that's already an easy reason because given the cost, you can start working on your accessibility project right away, no setup involved, and still use Jira for all of your other software projects. But with accessibility, I think it's different enough to warrant its own platform. And I think that is at least worth the consideration for many companies. It's like, hey, for accessibility, let's just use this platform so we can get going. And because we know from client experience, many clients want to get started right away. Like they don't want to build up a project inside of
Yeah.
Jira. They're ready to get started right now. And with accessibility tracker, I mean, it's so intuitive. Even now, you could probably get started in 10 minutes. Just watching a demo, you're like, okay, I get it. It's like very, very easy to use. So I wanted to cover this just because so many people use Jira and use Jira for accessibility, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In our organization too, like multiple people, multiple teams uses Jira, so they all log issues in different manner. So the one that does, they just paste the Excel rows in a description. So then they have to read the whole Excel row in a description. So it's a table format. It's not good to look at. It's not informative in any way. Although it does convey the purpose, but it doesn't use all the features of Jira. So yeah, multiple.
And oh, go ahead.
No, 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 nothing.
And one other part of this, though, is that you designed and developed Accessibility Tracker, and you yourself are the person who would use Accessibility Tracker. So you've really built this for not just developers, but with a developer focus to help them make the project as easy as possible, right? Like all of your experience, my input, that went into building this out to make it as seamless as possible, specifically for accessibility projects.
Yes, exactly. Like I myself use the AI feature when I'm working on the Shopify project. So it makes us just easy to keep track and all. Like otherwise, I have to open the Excel and mark it as a complete. And then if I have to give a separate auditor for validation the issue, then I have to share the Excel sheet. And here I can just simply assign that to like I guess the Divya was working with us for validating the issues. So I was just assigning him the issues that I was getting completed, and I was assigning her the issue. Then she marks the issue as needs some work extra, and she adds a note. Then I work on it more, and then I mark it as a completed again. So it was a smooth flow altogether.
Yeah, Divya is our lead auditor at accessible.org, and she does a lot of the validation. And so what was happening is we were using it exactly as it was intended. It's and with the validation aspect, it saves so much time because what happens is your team works on an accessibility issue, you make the fix, but then we need to make sure that everything has been fixed, right? It's a complete fix. There's nothing outstanding. It needs to be resolved. And so that's one of the ways accessibility trackers help is because not only has the fix been made, so you can mark the issue fixed on your end, but then we have the external validator to go in and ensure that everything is complete with the fix. So then the issue is marked as validated, and then we know that we are finished with that issue. And that's how we can incrementally move towards WCAG conformance. So, and that's the objective of these projects is, right? Like we want to make sure that we reach full WCAG conformance. I know that we can go beyond that, but for many clients, they're working through accessibility issues. We're looking to a standard to have a definitive end to the project. And we know that as we're working through it, if we can get through all of these issues and we know they've been validated, then we finish the project. Because Khushwant, you know this happens. Like there are so many times that someone gets back in audit, a client gets back in audit, and they get started. Maybe they get started fast. They work through 20%, 30%, and then it falls by the wayside.
Yeah,
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 it's common. It's common, and so it's really like the audit value is wasted because to really extract all of the value from an audit, you need to finish it off. And if there are outstanding issues, then you just need to know what there are. But you want to make sure that you've accounted for each issue. And it's so easy for a client to get back in audit and if they're not working with us, they get that audit, their team works on some of the issues, but they never fully get resolved.
yeah. There are many things like it helps us keep track all of the pending issues. So user can like he can decide to work on priority issue first, and then he can keep it aside. Like I will work on low priority issues then later on, and he can come back at any time and he can see those issues and fix them later on. With Excel sheet, it keeps disappearing in the links in the folders. You don't get to keep track of that file anymore.
Yeah, yeah, and emailing it back and forth, it's just
Yeah.
which version is the right version? You have to keep adding on extensions to the file name. So yeah, this just comes back to why we built Accessibility Tracker to make the accessibility project management process as easy and as simple as possible, so that it doesn't matter whether you're a developer, you're a project manager, a designer, content editor, no matter what role you're involved in, everyone is focused in on resolving each issue. You can work simultaneously. And so just making the process more efficient and more effective. So this was part two of our discussion on accessibility tracker, and we initially started off with an introduction of you, Khushwant, telling everyone who you are. You are the developer behind accessibility tracker. Just to end on, what are you personally, let's say, working on right now as far as skills? Is there anything that you're working on learning, or anything that you're in your spare time as a hobby that you're working on as far as either learning or technology, or what's next for you?
I'm currently exploring LangChain. So it's basically how you make your own AI models. So what we do is like I recently asked you regarding a WordPress plugin, if you remember, like what if we have your all your post index and we can have a chatbot so user can actually interact with that chatbot and he will have all the context of that particular like your all post. So I was learning how to keep that flow. So there is a new technology in the market that is LangChain. So basically how it does is like we will like extract all your post. We will store that in a vector database. Then from the AI when someone is chatting, so we match that query to whatever the in the vector database that is highest matching score. So there's a score factor in the database. And then we fetch the top five highest matching values from the database. And then we add that as a context in the AI and then AI gives us response based on that. So it helps us minimize the cost because we cannot give AI the full context because AI is becoming costly day by day. Like Cloud Sonnet 4 is too costly. So this is something I am currently learning and exploring because I found it so much interesting, like how people are working on minimizing the AI cost and how the vector database comes into the play. So this is the current thing I'm exploring.
Yeah, the cost of AI is definitely a consideration, because we're making AI a part of every project where it has added value. AI is a part of our projects. And that is something that comes up, is you've got to consider the cost. Like, it's a real cost. Like, when you use different AI models, they can be free or maybe a low monthly subscription. But when you're incorporating them into these different applications, the cost can be significant depending on how much
Yeah,
usage there is.
exactly.
But yeah, so what you just said is going back to the first video, which will be linked in the description. This is why I say that we're already leading the way in technology. Like, what we're doing is new. This is new and this is different. But like, you're already thinking even beyond, we're in it. I want AI with accessible.org. I want AI as closely interwoven as possible. But it's also important that I think everyone take away that AI is not automating anything yet. What it's doing is it's creating efficiency. It's especially in learning, and when we have specified tasks, it's not so much about automation, although yes, some things can be automated, but like overall with accessibility, it's not automation, it's efficiency. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would definitely agree with you. Like accessibility, like the recent startup got sued, I guess. It was AccessB that was claiming that we can fix the accessibility with the bookmarklet or AI features and all. So AI cannot fix anything, but AI can help developer fix it. It can help remediate the issues. So AI can speed up the process, but it cannot complete the process.
Yeah, and even the tasks where AI excels, like it's still, even as good as the model is, it's still subject to omissions, errors. I think hallucinations aren't happening as much as they used to, but like the point is that AI can still make mistakes, so you wouldn't want to claim that anything is automated. But I think that's where you see so many different companies and products moving towards, is they want to say that it's instantly taken care of, it's automated, when we know that with just AI, like, that's not really the thought. The thought is, yes, let's harness this incredible capability, but let's use it the correct way so that we're not claiming that it can do anything more than it can do. But the efficiency is already outstanding. With accessibility tracker, I think there's a very conservative estimate. This is just my guess, but based on what I've seen, I think it can 2.5x the time efficiency. Like, let's say a project would have taken you 10 hours to get through remediation, then I think accessibility tracker can make that 4. Not just from the AI and fixing the issues, but also just from the ease of use, like from the practical, like I am not going from spreadsheet to Excel spreadsheet. I like all of the different friction points in the process, those have all been removed. So, and I know I was talking about AI there, but the point is that AI is for efficiency, not for automation. I think there are certain aspects that may be able to be automated, but right now it's like maybe like it's like a hybrid automation. I shouldn't even say automation. I think
Exactly.
people get that conflated, but the point being is that like it's like it takes care of certain tasks, but you still need to have that manual oversight.
Hybrid automation is the perfect word for it.
Really?
Yeah,
I hesitate to use the word automation just because so many people are like, when they hear it, they're like, I'm done. Like that's it. And it's like when it
exactly.
hybrid means you're not done, but it's like it's automating the task, but it's automating the task in a way that you still have to be involved.
Completely agree.
So, Khushwant, I want to really, really thank you for coming on. This was a nice change of pace because usually I'm so structured when I'm talking, and it's not a podcast format. This was a podcast format, and I think you've helped people understand just more of the development side of this, more of looking at accessibility tracker, and then just also what we're doing to really just break through the legacy way of thinking, break through the very stagnant technology in the accessibility space. And we're looking well beyond that to the products that we're going to come out with are really going to add a lot of value to the market. And you are the person behind that all. So again, thanks for coming on. And yeah, it will possibly we can add another episode when we're coming out with our next products soon. But thank you for coming on.
Sure. Thank you, Chris, for having me. It's been like wonderful year. We completed a year recently. It's been a great time working with you.
Yeah, it's been so nice working with you. It's, you know, this has worked out perfectly. Like from you not getting the email template right that you were sending me to now we're recording a podcast. It's worked out really well. So thank you for coming on and we'll talk soon.